Hey guys, so for today's video, we're gonna be doing a testing drugstore makeup full face of first impressions. I love doing these, especially with drugstore makeup. I will say the only thing that's not drugstore is I have two Morphe things, and it's an eyeshadow palette and then a sponge. And the only reason why I'm including it in this video is because I don't have a drugstore eyeshadow palette to test out. So I figured instead of just skipping the eyes, that would be super boring. Why not just at least try an affordable eyeshadow palette? So that's what we're doing today. But everything else is drugstore. So I'm really excited to test out these new drugstore goodies. So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first thing I want to test out is this Rimmel #InstaFlawless Perfecting Radiant Primer. I'm actually going to roll down my turtleneck a little bit. So it has like this pearl iridescent. Ooh. That feels good. You know what I like about this is it actually, the fact that it feels like thicker and a bit more pasty, it actually gives it like that sticky base for your foundation to stick to. I mean, have to see how foundation sits on top of it, but so far, I like this. And I feel like it did give my skin a really soft, radiant glow, but nothing too greasy or anything like that. Still feels like a primer. Okay, so I don't have a new drugstore foundation and concealer to try, but I'm still gonna show you guys a drugstore foundation and concealer that I'm gonna use for today's video. And that way it'll actually give me a chance to test out just the primer and I won't get confused with testing out foundation. But I do have this Morphe Beauty Blender sponge that they sent over to me. I feel like this shape is really cool. So I think I might just use my Wet n Wild Photo Focus in Desert Beige. And I actually think I wanna mix these two foundations. I might put in the L'Oreal True Match just to give it a little bit of dewiness. This is in the shade W6. I want to see how these two mix together. So let's see how we like this sponge. I'm going to use the round side just to blend everything in. So it is a little bit on the hard side. Like, I love how my Beauty Blender is so like soft and fluffy, and with this, I don't know if you guys can hear like the pouncing, but it is like a bit hard. It's not horrible, but what's funny with me is when I try out beauty blenders or, you know, sponges, I just call every sponge a beauty blender. When I try out new sponges, I know within the first 10 seconds if I'm going to love it or hate it, or like if I'm going to use it at least. And I can tell you guys, I'm not going to really use this sponge. I don't like it. Already I can tell you I don't like it. It's just too hard. I like a softer, bouncier sponge. Yeah, I love these two foundations, so I know it's not the foundation and it's the sponge. I feel like it's just not blending properly on top, so I really do not like this Morphe sponge. All right, so for concealer, I'm going to take the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade 20. So I do have this other Morphe sponge, which I guess is supposed to be for the under eye because it's super pointed. The only thing is this top point seems really flimsy and a bit too thin. Yeah, like I feel like the point of the point is for it to like get in there, which is totally cool. But I don't know if you guys can see, it's like it's so flimsy that it's not really, you know, I don't know. I feel like it needs to be I don't know if you guys get what I'm talking about. Anyways, let's move on. I don't know, it feels a bit too small, like I'm not able to really hold it. It's good, it actually like it blended. I like this better than the other one, but I don't see myself using that. Favorite drugstore sponge, which I totally would use for this video, which would have made sense, but I just didn't wet it, is the Real Techniques one. Like that's the only other sponge, that and the Sigma 3D HD, the only other sponges that I've tried that I love and like use all the time, because I'm super picky with sponges, you guys. All right, so the next product we're gonna test out is this NYX Wonder Stick. I've seen this forever now and I haven't tried it, so I'm really late on it, but I got mine in the shade Universal. But here's how the shade looks. I am going to use my Morphe E7. So ooh, that looks good in the viewfinder though. And it looks good in the mirror, like in person too, wow. So I like that color for contouring too, like for a contour that's not so deep. Lately I've been doing like a deep dark contour, but this is like a really nice natural, ooh, I like it. I really like it, like a natural shadow, and it really applied and blended nicely. Do you guys see how quick and easy that was to use a brush to apply your cream contour? I feel like it's been like a thing to apply cream contour on the face and blend it out, which is totally cool. And I still do that sometimes, but like only when I have time to really do it. Look how quick and easy that applied. Took like a couple seconds. I didn't really have to do much. placement or blending or... Wow. I might just buff it out with this brush. I really like that. It applied so nicely. It looks seamless, doesn't look patchy. I really like that. I think I'm going to take it on this e.l.f. 103 brush and do the forehead and the temples. Let's try this on the nose too, because I feel like it might be small enough for the nose. Yep. So I'm going to set that cream contour with this bronzer. Well, this is actually a face powder, but this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Finishing Powder, and I picked mine up in the shade Classic Tan because I thought, that looks like a really nice bronzer. I know this powder is actually really nice. It's actually my favorite drugstore face powder that like has color, that's not translucent. Favorite drugstore foundation powder, I guess you could say. It's really nice and pigmented, blends nicely, and it lasts really long. So I'm hoping it works as a bronzer. Hoping I like this shade. Really nice. Okay, so I have this huge Marcel face powder, and this is just translucent. So I'm really excited to see how I'm going to like this. Is it really going to be translucent? Because sometimes with face powders, they make my foundation lighter, which I hate that because then your foundation doesn't match you anymore. And sometimes there's flashback, so I guess we'll see. So I'm just going to apply it all over here, also on the nose. So it doesn't look like it lightened my foundation, and it felt super smooth, so good so far. I guess we'll have to more see how it lasts and how it takes photos, so I guess we'll see. So I totally forgot to test out this e.l.f. Targeted Natural Glow Stick. This is a cream highlight, so I typically would put it under powder, so I don't want to try it on top of powder and kind of mess up the formula. You guys have been telling me to try this in the shade Morning Dew anyways to see if it's the Ciate Glow Stick dupe, so I need to get my hands on that, but I will test this out another day because I already powdered, so I don't want to mess that up. But I have this Wet n Wild brush, and they kind of made a little indent in the brush. Let's see if this will focus. A little indent in the brush for your finger to sit. How cool is that? But this is like, I guess, supposed to be a highlight brush, but it does feel really thin and flimsy. Don't know how I feel about that. I know Sigma has one like this too, where it's thin and flimsy. I don't know, I can't get down with it. So I guess we'll just have to see though. I might end up loving it. But I really want to try out too this Wet n Wild highlight bar. This is a limited edition shade in the shade Midnight Moon. So when you look at it, it looks like a really pretty, just like white highlight. But see that gold reflect when you actually swatch it? It's a really pretty like pale gold. So I guess we'll see how that looks on the face. I don't think I'm gonna like this highlight brush, I really don't. I'm gonna try it for the nose because I know I'm not gonna like it on the face. I feel like on the nose it might work. Whew. You guys see that? It really does look very gold. You know what's funny? I don't know, call me crazy, but this looks like similar to like Trophy Wife. But you know what I mean? Like, you know, Trophy Wife is like very intense gold. This would be like the lighter skin version of Trophy Wife. Like if you wanted to wear Trophy Wife, but I mean, it might look straight up crazy on your cheeks because you're not a medium to deep skin tone. This looks like that. And you guys, I don't know if you can really see it on camera. I think you can. Yeah, this looks like Trophy Wife, you guys, but like a lighter version. So I really want to test out this blush by e.l.f. This is in the shade Glow. You guys need to see this up close. Like how pretty is that? I'm going to swatch it for you guys too. It just looks like a really pretty nude blush, but it has like slight sparkly sheen to it. Really pretty. It does seem really powdery, like super powdery and pigmented, so I guess we'll see. Pretty. It doesn't show up as much on my skin tone, but oh my god, if you have pale skin tone, this is gonna look so beautiful on you as a blush. Alright, so Maybelline just recently sent me over some new brow products. This is the Maybelline Brow Precise Micro Crayon, and they sent it in the shade... Where's the shade? Well, mine doesn't even say the shade on the pencil, so that sucks, but I think I remember the box when I opened it said soft brown, so I'm hoping it's not too light for me. They also sent me the Maybelline Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer Mascara in the shade Soft Brown. So this is how it looks. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about it. I mean, I guess we're gonna have to see. Hopefully my brows don't get messed up in this video. So I'm just gonna comb out my brows first. I love that this has a spoolie, and so far the spoolie feels nice and blends and combs through the brows nicely. All right, so I am just going to outline my brow first. Oh, I like this so far. Brow product is another thing that I could normally tell if I'm gonna like it right away. Wow, that was super easy to work with. So I'm a bit nervous for this brow mascara because it looks kind of weird. So I guess we're just gonna see. I'm gonna really go slowly. Okay, so that's not as scary as I thought it would be. I thought it would just come out so pigmented and like completely mess up the shape of my brows, but it didn't. But I don't know if I would use this all the time. I might just use this on no makeup days because it does say it has volumizing fiber, so I'll have to give this another try. Okay, so I don't have any drugstore palettes to try, so I figured instead of just skipping the eyes and being super boring and not doing any eyeshadow for you guys, I figured let's just use an affordable palette. I haven't tried out these Morphe palettes. I don't even know what they're called. They're just like, they're a totally different like shape than their normal ones, but this is the 25B and then this is the 25A, which the 25A is just warmer and the 25B is just cooler. I also have this really cool Wet n Wild metallic liquid eyeshadow to try in the shade Aqua Prism. I did already prime my eyes with the Maybelline Fit Me concealer. I'm just gonna take the first shade from the 25B palette and set that. I'm gonna take the fourth shade in the 25B palette and just use that as a really nice transition. It's gonna be super pale on me, but it'll just work nicely so other shadows can blend. I'm gonna take this really pretty brown from the 25B palette. I'm just gonna pop that right into the crease, and I'm also gonna bring it in and out and just kind of do that full circular motion with that. These shadows so far blend really nicely. They're not coming off extremely pigmented. I would expect them to be a little bit more pigmented. That's the only thing I would say. I'm gonna take the fourth shade in the second row of the 25A palette, and I'm just gonna also concentrate that right in the crease. I'm gonna go into that fourth shade in the first row and just add a little bit of warmth and really blend everything out. All right, so I just can't wait to dabble into this. So this is the Wet n Wild Metallic Liquid Eyeshadow. Look how beautiful this teal looks. I'm just excited to see how this is gonna look on the eyes and perform. I think I'm just gonna try applying it directly on this brush. This is the Sigma Cream Color E58 brush. It's one of my favorite like lid brushes. So because I kind of have like creases in my eyes and I kind of have that fold, anytime I'm using a liquid shadow or anything like that, I want to make sure that I apply it above that fold just so that I don't have like any creasing, you know what I mean? And I don't transfer it. So I'm going to make sure I really apply it at that fold. Wow, so this is definitely more of like a royal bright teal. Ooh, pretty. And it's super pigmented. And it's applying nicely, and I'm just patting it, and that's how it's applying good. I don't feel like this is with liquid eyeshadows, it's too good to rub. I notice patting normally works, and that seems to be working right now. Wow, it's kind of more like an aqua blue and less teal. So I kind of just want to keep it in the center because I am just going to take the other side, buff it out a bit, and apply shadow there. I'm going to take this beautiful rich brown and go right above that shadow, that liquid eyeshadow. And then I'm just going to apply that on the outer portion. And then I'm just going to halo it up here. Don't mind sugar barking in the background, let's just ignore that. Okay, so I just want to focus on blending this first and then we'll fix up. It's looking a bit messy right now. We're going to fix that up. I don't know, I'm not loving these Morphe palettes. I feel like they could blend better and they could be more pigmented. Not loving them. I don't see them being a favorite. So all that blending really took away the liquid shadow. So I am just gonna go over it again and apply that. And remember to buff it out. You can just turn to the other side that's empty. If you don't want more product but you still need to do more blending, you can just turn to the empty side, and it does buff out nicely with the flat brush. So I could not for the life of me find a drugstore teal eyeshadow in my collection. So I think I'm gonna do some mixing. I'm gonna mix this darker blue with this darker green, and hopefully I get like this tealy shade. I'm just gonna take a little bit of this darker blue, mix it in with this darker green and let's see what we get. I just want to apply that on the edges here. And I think I'm just gonna pat. And then I'm just gonna take it above a little bit. And now I'm just gonna take a clean brush and buff out these edges. So now I'm just gonna take those two shades together, mixed to make teal, and just press that on the lower lash. And I'm really gonna also bring it in. So now for mascara, I wanna try out the Essence Volume Stylist Lash Extension Mascara with Lengthening Fibers. Long name, but I actually saw this from Casey Holmes, her favorites, her monthly favorites. Oh, I actually like this brush. So here's how the wand looks. So I like how the formula isn't too wet. It kind of has like some resistance. Ooh, I really like that. I like how it separated my lashes and it almost gave it that full fan effect. And it's really lengthening them too, actually, I noticed. Wow, I feel like I'm getting volume and length with this guy. And I think that this mascara is $4. Like, that's amazing. So I just got these in the mail. These are the new Rimmel Stay Matte Liquid Lip Colors. And I'm really excited for these because I always love to try out a new drugstore liquid lipstick because I feel like they're getting better at the formulas. They're really improving. So I'm excited to try this out. I think I'm gonna use the shade Mocha for today, but I also have the shade Latte to go. So let's see how this formula looks and how this shade looks. Oh yeah. This is like the perfect flesh tone nude for my skin tone right now. And the formula is so smooth. It feels very lightweight. It doesn't feel cakey at all. I'm actually just gonna put on a light, thin second layer, even though you really don't need it. It's super pigmented. So I was going to put the shade Latte in the center, but I don't know if this is gonna be too light. Yeah. It's a bit light, but I think I'll just keep that in the center. These are drying down so nicely. These might be like my favorite drugstore liquid lipstick formula. So lightweight, not like sticky or tacky. They just dry down really nicely. I'm blown away by the formula. I know that I tested out the nudes in this video, but I will say the nudes swatched amazing. But I swatched the darker shades in this Rimmel Liquid Stay Matte on Snapchat, and the darker shades were very streaky and patchy. But the nudes, amazing. So I think the darker shades just might need a tweaking in formula. I think I might want a gloss today, so I might test out this gloss. I recently got this in the mail. How beautiful is this? This is the e.l.f. Champagne Lip Gloss, Champagne Glam, and it's the Lip Plumping Gloss. So it's supposed to give you a little bit of a plump. So let's see how this shade is gonna look. I think it's just gonna be like a nice sheer shade. Ooh. Really pretty. I am gonna add a little bit of the liquid lipstick on top because I feel like that gloss is a tad bit too pale. Ooh, I can feel the gloss, like not stinging, but it feels very cooling, like almost like a mint or something. So that completes my drugstore full face of first impressions, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed watching me play around and test out new drugstore makeup. I personally am obsessed with the Wet n Wild liquid eyeshadow. That's what stands out to me the most, and the Rimmel liquid lipsticks. Like, I am floored. Like, that formula feels like it could totally be high-end and cost like $30, $40. Amazing, and I really loved that NYX contour stick too. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys. Mwah.